Hi, I'm Sally,
And I'm Anne.
and welcome to the 1% Happier and Healthier podcast. And this is part of our mini series of small tips that are going to help you take small steps to living your happiest and healthiest life. And today we're talking about the importance of having your own support team.
So, when might you need a support team? You might ask yourself.
Well, this is the funny thing that we don't really know we need it until we think there's something missing. And I think for a lot of us, whether it's we're on our own and we get overwhelmed by decisions, or even if you're married or have a partner, sometimes they're not the best person to be giving advice. So, for example, if I was off to buy a wedding outfit or something like that, I know my husband would be not the first person that I would turn to for that kind of advice.
So, who would you turn to? For
Well,
example,
I might ask your advice, Anne,
hmm
or I might ask Leslie, because of course Leslie's been one of our guests, and she's that's her job, isn't it? Is
yeah,
to be
she's a
advice a
stylist.
stylist. So, I think for some of our listeners, some decisions in life could be quite daunting, whether
hmm
that's moving house and getting a mortgage for the
hmm
first time, or
I think, you know what? I think one that's coming to mind, which I would struggle with, is decorating. What
yeah.
colour to decorate rooms in? So, this colour behind us is my house colour, and I love it, but I didn't pick it. I asked somebody who had a beautiful house. Lovely son. I always admired it when I went into there. I asked her to give me advice on the colour. So that's a classic example of asking somebody who is already living proof that they make good decisions, in my opinion,
On house colours.
on house colours.
And I think sometimes when we're overwhelmed by a decision, we can ask everybody we know, and then we get overwhelmed with all of the answers. And actually, we should be listening to the people that we
Yeah.
really trust. So, as I said before, if it was an outfit, I'd ask Anne or I'd ask Leslie or another girlfriend who I thought was kind of pretty stylish. But so it's trying to focus your team and recognize who you would want advice on what.
hmm Bit like nutrition. So nutrition is obviously one, and there's so much information out there. Who would you go and speak to about if you wanted to change your diet slightly to be more healthy? Sal, that's who I'd go to for sure. I just fast track to Sal with stuff like that. So again, it's like it's considering what you need, what the outcome is for you, and how quickly you want to get it as well. And that's where you make the choices of the right person who can help you in that situation. Not everybody. Don't come and ask me financial advice because I'm not your person. But if you ask advice from everybody, people do like to advise, but they're not necessarily the right
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
And then you could catch yourself in a situation where you think, oh my God, everybody's telling me this, and who do I actually listen to? And you're not getting any further on. So actually, giving thought and awareness to who your support team is really valuable.
And key roles in that support team might be who is your biggest cheerleader and who do you go to when you're feeling a bit down and you know they're going to big you up and give you a high five and say, look, you can do this thing. So, when you're perhaps lacking a bit of confidence, who's the person that you're going to message to say, look, just give me that nudge because I know I can really do it.
hmm
Or who's that person where you know you really need some honest advice?
Yeah,
Maybe you are looking at that outfit, but maybe it's not quite your usual color, or maybe it's a little bit more tight fitting than usual, and you're not quite sure, and you really want somebody to be 100% honest. Most of your friends are probably going to go, look, Sally, your bum doesn't look big in this, but maybe you want that one person
yeah,
who's your honest
yeah,
critic.
yeah. And also, who's your, I would say, steady, who's going to think about it, consider what you're asking them and not rushing to give you an answer just because they need to give you an answer. There's that one person you can go to, is just going to reflect on what you've asked them, and they're really valuable in your team, really valuable in your team.
And who's the person that you go to if you need a shelf putting up? Who do you know that loves a bit of DIY? They've got all the right tools, and they just love lending a hand around the house. It's always good to have, a
Yeah,
go-to handy
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah. And I think in all of this as well, when you're considering what we've mentioned to you, you will fit into somebody's support team somewhere yourself as well because you'll have qualities that somebody will need. So never underestimate the power of what you can do as well.
And I think sometimes we're put off asking people for that little bit of
Yeah.
support. But how would you feel if somebody asked you?
I
So I
love
think
just helping.
exactly
Yeah.
people are going to be, yeah, I really want to
Yeah.
help you. So yeah, don't feel worried about putting somebody on your support team and then reaching out when you need their help because
That's
I'm sure they'll love it.
that's such a really good point.
Mm,
A lot of people don't ask for help for that very reason.
mm.
So yeah, good one, Sal.
Well, thanks for listening. I hope you write down who your support team are and share with a friend if you think it'll be useful.
Thank you.